Some athletes are great, some athletes are elite, and then there are athletes who shouldn't even exist. In the National Football League, every player is already among the best in the world. But every generation produces a few players whose combination of size, speed, strength, and explosiveness looks almost unnatural. We're talking about defensive linemen running like tight ends, receivers built like power forwards, running backs who hit like linebackers but sprint like track stars. These are the players who didn't just dominate games, they changed how scouts evaluate talent. Today, we're counting down the 10 most freakish athletes in NFL history, and the number one athlete still sounds like a legend. Before we jump into the list, let's define what freakish really means. This isn't just about statistics. A freak athlete usually has at least 3 of these traits: rare size for their position, elite speed or acceleration, explosive jumping ability, unusual strength-to-weight ratio, physical traits that force teams to rethink strategy. These players don't just succeed, they break the prototype. And the deeper we go into this list, the more ridiculous the combinations become. Number 10, Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett looks like a traditional defensive end until he starts moving. At roughly 6'4" and 272 pounds, Garrett posted one of the most shocking athletic profiles ever recorded for a defensive lineman. 4.6, 440-yard dash, 4'1" vertical jump, elite agility drills. Most players his size rely primarily on power. Garrett combines power, speed, flexibility, burst. His first step off the line often puts offensive tackles immediately into recovery mode. But what makes Garrett truly freakish is how effortless his movement looks. He doesn't appear to be straining. He appears to be gliding. And he's only the start of this list. Number 9, DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf became famous before he even played an NFL game. When his combine photo went viral, fans thought the image was edited. At 6'3", 228 pounds, Metcalf looked more like a physique competitor than a wide receiver. Then he ran a 4.33 40-yard dash. That's when scouts realized this wasn't just aesthetic athleticism, it was functional. Metcalf's physical advantages include rare upper body strength for a receiver, long stride acceleration, elite top-end speed. But one play cemented his freak status: a chase-down tackle where he ran across the field at full speed to stop a defender. Receivers aren't supposed to move like that. And yet, someone on this list combined even more speed with elite ball skills. Number 8, Deion Sanders. If speed alone could define freak athleticism, Deion Sanders might be number 1. Nicknamed Prime Time, Sanders had one of the rarest traits in sports: instant acceleration. He didn't need time to build speed. He was fast immediately. Quarterbacks quickly learned that throwing towards Sanders was a mistake. But here's what makes Sanders truly unique. He also played professional baseball at the same time. Playing 2 professional sports simultaneously requires not just athleticism, but elite conditioning and coordination. Sanders didn't just cover receivers, he erased them. But the next player shows what happens when extreme size meets elite athletic movement. Number 7, Julius Peppers. Standing at 6'7" and nearly 300 pounds, Julius Peppers looked like a prototype defensive end. But prototypes aren't supposed to move like basketball forwards. Peppers was a multi-sport athlete at the University of North Carolina, playing both football and basketball. His freak traits included massive wingspan, elite lateral movement, explosive vertical ability. Offensive tackles struggled not just with his power, but with his reach and agility. Players that size typically specialize in strength. Peppers combined strength with coordination, one of the rarest athletic combinations in football. But the next athlete might be the most physically intimidating running back ever. Number 6, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry doesn't look like a running back. At 6'3", 247 pounds, he looks like a linebacker. But then he runs away from defensive backs. Henry's freak profile comes from his rare blend of power, long speed, acceleration, balance through contact. Most running backs are either quick and agile or large and physical. Henry is both. What makes him especially dangerous is how his style compounds over time. By the fourth quarter, defenders are exhausted from tackling him. That's when the long touchdown runs start happening. But the next athlete completely redefined his position. Number 5, Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald wasn't supposed to dominate the NFL. Coming out of college, some scouts believed he was too small to play defensive tackle. Then he tested. Donald recorded 35 bench press reps, elite shuttle and agility drills, a 4.68 40-yard dash at nearly 285 pounds. But testing numbers still don't fully explain his dominance. Donald's true freak trait is his first step explosion. Offensive linemen often say he's already past them before they fully engage. That kind of burst from an interior defensive lineman is extremely rare. Donald didn't just succeed, he changed how teams evaluate interior pass rushers. But now, we enter the wide receiver tier, where size and speed collide. Number 4, Randy Moss. Randy Moss made football look simple. At 6'4", Moss combined elite vertical jumping ability, smooth acceleration, unmatched deep ball tracking. Defenders could play perfect coverage and still lose. Moss had a rare ability to adjust midair while maintaining speed. Quarterbacks developed a famous strategy. If Moss is down there somewhere, throw it. Few athletes in NFL history forced defenses to change coverage schemes the way Moss did. But one receiver somehow had an even more ridiculous physical profile. Number 3, Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson looked like he was built in a lab. Nicknamed Megatron, Johnson measured Liu Wu, 239 pounds, 4.3, 540-yard dash, 42, 5-inch vertical jump. Those numbers alone are rare, but combined, they're almost unheard of. Cornerbacks were too small, safeties were too slow, linebackers couldn't keep up. There simply wasn't a perfect defensive matchup. Johnson didn't just win contested catches, he dominated them. But the next athlete didn't just dominate games. He changed the structure of offensive football. Number 2, Lawrence Taylor. Before Lawrence Taylor, linebackers didn't rush the passer like defensive ends. Taylor changed that forever. His freak traits included elite edge speed, explosive power, relentless motor. Offensive coordinators were forced to invent new blocking schemes to account for him. Entire offensive strategies evolved because of one athlete. Taylor didn't just dominate physically, he shifted how defenses were built. But the number 1 athlete on this list didn't just dominate football. He dominated another professional sport at the same time. Number 1, Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson might be the most physically gifted athlete in sports history. Stories about Bo sound almost fictional. Elite power running ability, Olympic-level sprint speed. But what truly separates Bo is that he became an all-star in Major League Baseball while also playing in the NFL. 2 professional leagues, 1 athlete. Bo had speed, strength, explosiveness. Even today, decades later, his highlights still look unreal. Bo Jackson didn't just define freak athleticism, he became its standard. A few athletes barely missed the list, but still belong in the conversation. Adrian Peterson, rare power speed combination. And one of the greatest injury recoveries ever, Cam Newton, tight end size with elite quarterback mobility. Tyreek Hill, track level acceleration that changes defensive schemes instantly. Closing retention loop. Every generation produces incredible athletes, but only a few truly redefine what's possible. From the explosive dominance of Aaron Donald to the unmatched size, speed combinations of Calvin Johnson and Derrick Henry, to the mythical two-sport dominance of Bo Jackson. These athletes didn't just play football, they expanded its limits. And the scary part? Somewhere right now, the next freak athlete is training, getting faster, getting stronger, preparing to shock the league all over again. The question is,
who's next?